jobs other than brick factory or coal mining?
I don't know about the job situation. I know that my father worked in the just above Nelsonville in a little town like, or just a little brickyard place, and they had a house made, a round house made out of bricks, and it's still there as far as I know.
Did he
And
live in it?
no, he didn't live there. I don't know who did, but it was odd to see it because you just don't see little round houses everywhere.
That's true. That is true. Tell me about after you were married, how many children do you have?
Well, I have one daughter, and I raised my grandson. My daughter's Diane Harris, and she lives in Columbus, and Sean lives up in that area also. And I have stepchildren. I have 3 stepchildren. My first husband, who passed away with massive heart attack, and my current husband, I've been married 8 years, and he has 2 sons. So we call them 7 children altogether, and we're all very happy with each other.
Wonderful. After you were married to your first husband, I heard you say you lived in Columbus.
Yeah, I lived in Columbus as soon as I got out of school. I got out of school at the age of 17, and I went to Columbus, and I worked for Nationwide Insurance, but I had gone to the depot, but I was too young to work for the government. So I went to Nationwide Insurance, and then when my daughter was born, I took a short leave of absence, and I went back to work for the government. So with the government, I put in 42 years, over 42 years. Then after I retired in 1969 or 96, I went to work for the state of Ohio. So finally I had to quit because of physical problems.
Did your brothers, did they stay in the area of Mix County, or did they move on?
My oldest brother lived in Nelsonville. My middle brother went to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and my younger brother went to Canton, Ohio.
And your brothers' names are?
David, Raymond, Earl, and they're all deceased.
Okay. And your daughter's name?
My daughter is Diane English Harris.
Her first name is English?
No, that's her name.
Oh, okay.
Her married name is Harris.
Okay. Her first name is?
Diane,
Okay.
Diane.
Okay. You told me that.
Or Diann, it's different.
Are there anything in that, so far the things I've asked you, can you think of anything that we need to fill in like
I
lived or something?
I lived most of my time on the Norman homestead, and then I moved to my grandparents' house when it was empty after my grandparents died. And my grandfather, my dad's father, was killed in 1919 in a sand cave-in Washington County. Then my grandmother was widowed, and she raised the family. My father was the oldest of the boys. I believe there were 7 of them. Seven, yes, 7 of my aunts and uncles, yes.
The Norman family name keeps popping up, and there were Normans in Nelsonville. Did you know any of those? I want to hear about that.
Okay, he was in the 1777 or something like that, and he was married to a Fortune Stevens, and I am a descendant of them. It comes clear down to, I ended up with a Henry Norman, and my father were cousins through the Gomer girls.
Can you repeat that? I'm a descendant of Basil, Norman, and?
Fortune Stevens.
Can you just say I'm a descendant of?
Oh, I'm a descendant of Basil, Norman, and Fortune Stevens.
And Basil Norman was born about,
I believe Basil Norman was born in the 1700s sometime. I don't know just exactly when. I do have the information, but not with me today.
so did Basil Norman come into Ohio and from where?
That's something that I really don't know. I don't know where he came from. Oh, he would have had probably come from Massachusetts, where all the Normans did originate.
Okay. Do you know where they moved to into Ohio? About what area Basil may have moved into Ohio?
I don't know. I think that Basil probably, I don't know what area of Ohio he was in, but I know there is a Norman homestead in Gallia County, where I live now, it's right outside of Gallipolis.
Okay. So the Normans had a homestead around Gallipolis, and they also had one where you first stayed.
Where I first stayed, it was called the Norman Place.
Okay.
And there's where several of the families had lived there. And my uncle, Henry Norman, had lived there.
Okay. Does the family still own that land?
No, that house is almost dilapidated now. And it was sold to a woman in Columbus named Stout and a woman named Steele. I believe it was Steele.
Okay. Do you know if any of your land is on Wayne National Forest lands?
I don't think that any of the land down there in Meigs County is national forest. I know a lot of it was Rumfield property. It was, and he gave, my great-grandfather was a Rumfield, and he left property to his two stepdaughters, who were Normans, and to his two children.
So, Rumfield, now, that's another story.
Rumfield is another story.
That's what I want to hear.
I don't think he wanted on any place.
Pardon me?
Rumfields were German, and there are many of them living in that area down there.
And he was your great-grandfather,
Yes,
and he had two stepdaughters.
who were Normans,
So
yes.
tell me about the Rumfield property. Did your family own any of that property later on?
I did until just about 5 years ago, and I sold my portion. I was one of the remaining Rumfield descendants of that particular lineage. But there are many Rumfields in that area.
Did you celebrate your Rumfield heritage when you were growing up?
No, I didn't celebrate anything as far. I called them aunt and uncle, and I really didn't know why. But they really were my uncles and aunts.
And does anyone still own any of that property then that's related to your family?
The property has probably all been sold out in that area now to other families. They would have been Caucasian.
Okay. I'm going to take you back up north now.
Okay.
You heard Payne's Crossing,
Yes.
and how does that associate with your family?
Payne's Crossing, I have found out that a lot of my ancestors are buried in that particular cemetery. The Harpers that are there are my ancestors, and I'm not sure how many others. I've been following it with newspaper articles, and also the Geological Society or something had some articles in the paper. They came down to what is called the Emancipation, and I was there, and I gave some information and whatever, and I've been following that. And in there are headstones of a lot of my ancestors that did not go to Michigan. They stayed in Belmont County, Washington County, and I also have Stevenses from that area, who are my father's people.
Okay. When the family came into Ohio, were they also given land?
No. The family purchased the land, I believe. I have seen some deeds, but not a great lot of them. But they are recorded in Pomeroy, Ohio. Mm-hmm. That's the county seat for Meigs County. Mm-hmm. But a lot of their records, they tell me, were destroyed in a fire.
Yeah. Right. The relatives that you had that are buried in Payne Cemetery, did they own land in that area?
The people that are buried in the Payne Cemetery and that other cemeteries out in that area, I don't know if they owned land out there, they were renting, they were farming. I don't know what they were doing, but I know that my grandfather was there, my dad's father, who was a Stevens, Edward Grant Stevens, and a lot of his brothers lived in that area also. Mm-hmm. And he was the one that was killed in he was in a ditch and the sand came down on him and he died there.
Are you related to any of the Paynes? Any Paynes?
Ooh. I have relatives that the Harpers were married to some of the Paynes in Black Fork and Oak Hill in that area.
Is there anything about the cemeteries down where you live now that you'd like to share with us about families, burials, and so forth?
I haven't. I have been to quite a few of the cemeteries. There's one on Dead Man's Curve out of Rutland, and it is really a terrible curve, and my parents are buried there, and the Clarks, who were Norman descents, who were half cousins to my father, they're buried there in that cemetery. It's a big cemetery. Also, they have other cemeteries in the area that some of them I do have people buried in.
Mm-hmm. Is that where most of your family members are buried, in the cemetery at Dead Man's Curve?
Yes. My family, they have large areas and they're walled and everything. They're very old graves. Are in the one between Langsville and Rutland, Ohio.
What's the name of that cemetery? Does it have a name or?
The cemetery has a name, but I can't call it right off.
Oak Hill?
No, that's out of Pomeroy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What was let's go back. Go ahead.
One other thing about cemeteries, they tell me that down there where I live, there are 7 generations of Stevenses buried in the one cemetery. And I haven't been there yet to check that out, but I do go to the different cemeteries as long as I can walk.
I'd like to have more information back about the Rumsfeld family and how it connects to the Normans and the Harpers. If that's a comfortable subject for you to share with us.
There is a connection with the family, but I really don't think I should talk about it. Okay. Of course, like I say, they were German, and he did